Have you ever noticed people who seem to live with almost nothing? They have very little furniture, a small wardrobe, and plenty of white space in their schedule. In a world that prizes hustle and hoarding, this behavior might seem strange. But psychology explains that this choice reveals a very specific mindset. These people possess what experts call high self-determination, meaning they define their own worth by internal standards and feel very little need to prove anything through what they own. Think about the freedom of walking into a home where empty space is more important than objects. People who seek to simplify their lives usually display a personality trait called low self-monitoring. They worry less about the image they project to neighbors or coworkers. They buy things that serve a purpose and keep only what truly makes them happy. They protect their physical environment because they understand that too much stuff carries an invisible mental cost. Psychology shows that the desire for less comes from deep emotional security. Many people try to fill internal voids through relentless shopping and acquiring new possessions. However, those who embrace simplicity often feel complete already. They have a solid identity that doesn't depend on the brands they wear or the places they go. They prefer silence and free time because they know peace of mind is a human being's most valuable resource. They believe the quality of their lives depends on their own choices, not external circumstances. They understand that every yes to consumption is a no to their own freedom. This is a form of emotional intelligence that prioritizes mental stability over passing trends. To understand how these people think, we need to look at the pillars that support their choices. Psychology identifies clear patterns in those who decide to live with less. High emotional autonomy. Research shows that people who seek simplicity have very strong internal validation. They don't need applause or likes to feel successful. They understand that excessive consumption is often just a way to signal status to others. By removing clutter, they declare that other people's opinions carry very little weight in their decisions. They prefer the comfort of a functional home over the admiration of guests. This emotional independence creates a calm that very few possessions can offer. Mastering attention. Psychologists explain that our attention is a finite resource. Every object we own and every unnecessary commitment hijacks part of our focus. People who want less treat their attention like treasure. They clear their environments and schedules to ensure their minds have room to create, reflect, and rest. They'd rather spend an afternoon reading or having a deep conversation than shopping. This selective focus is a sign of high cognitive intelligence because it prevents mental fatigue caused by overstimulation. Security in the essential. Many people hold on to things because they don't trust their own ability to handle the unknown. They see their possessions as a safety net for a future they can't control. But people who choose to simplify have a different kind of confidence. They've realized that real security doesn't come from what you own, but from what you can do. They invest in their own skills, their problem solving, and their ability to adapt to any situation. They feel secure because they know that even if they lost everything tomorrow, they would still have the knowledge and the strength to start over. The art of being quiet. Many people feel a constant pressure to be seen, and to share every part of their lives. They live in a state of high social monitoring, always checking how they measure up to everyone else. But those who choose to simplify have a different kind of strength. They've mastered the art of being quiet. They don't feel the need to broadcast their successes or their daily routines just to feel validated. They understand that real confidence doesn't need an audience. By choosing to stay low-key, they protect their mental energy from the endless cycle of social comparison. This privacy allows them to focus on what they actually think, rather than what they should think to please others. Real-time awareness. People who choose to live with less have a very clear sense of how precious and limited our time actually is. They've realized that our attention is the only currency we can never get back once it's spent. Because of this, they treat their days as a sacred resource. They understand that the simple pleasure of having time is a high form of wealth. This ability to protect their time shows a deep level of emotional maturity. It's the understanding that being fully here, right now, in this moment, is the real success. These people also demonstrate what experts call high intentionality. Every choice they make goes through a filter of purpose. They don't just go with the flow. They feel good seeing others succeed, but don't feel the need to copy them. Competing for status stops making sense when you're already satisfied with what you have. They're better friends, more present parents, and more attentive partners. They understand that the best memories aren't made of objects, but moments of real connection. Living with less is a statement of personal power. It proves you're bigger than your possessions and that your happiness has deep roots no consumer trend can pull up. If you admire people who live this way, maybe a part of you is looking for that same clarity. Understanding the mind of someone who simplifies their life is the first step toward your own cleanup. Psychology teaches us that peace isn't something we find out there in a store. Peace is what remains when we remove everything unnecessary. When we look at those who choose the path of less, we realize they aren't giving anything up. They've traded the anxiety of owning for the tranquility of being. They've traded the display case for a window, where they can watch the world without the distortion of constant desire. Think about the strength it takes to keep this stance in an environment that tries to sell us something every second. These people are the new rebels of our era. These individuals recognize that happiness is not a goal attained through material possessions. They cultivate happiness as a consistent practice, emphasizing appreciation for their current circumstances and finding contentment in life's simple pleasures. Consequently, a steaming cup of coffee, a compelling book, or the tranquility of a sunlit morning holds greater significance for them than any extravagant acquisition. This journey of simplification reveals that the human mind flourishes in space and order. When we remove physical excess, our emotions find balance too. We become less anxious, less irritable, and more generous with our time. They prove that true sophistication lies in living with intelligence and purpose, without the weight of material chains. The next time you encounter someone who values the little things, don't mistake it for a lack of drive. See a person who had the courage to edit their life until only the beauty of genuine purpose remained. They are more grounded, emotionally intelligent, and secure than most of us. They don't need to be noticed for what they own to feel seen. They already see themselves clearly. And that is the highest form of confidence anyone can achieve.